will take place in Addis Ababa. And this is where what has been done and what needs to be done and the launching that will occur early in January on the sidelines of the summit will take place. The idea is that all the 23 African member states that have signed on to the solemn commitment will be present at that meeting. And I'm looking forward to all the ministers that are here to be there, starting with the Honorable Minister to my right, so that we can all partake of the advantages that are staring us in the face in terms of bringing everybody together, connectivity of the continent to the advantage of the peoples of this continent. I thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Well, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable ministers, as we say in aviation, it looks like, to me, CAV okay, as far as these proceedings are concerned. Therefore, can we have somebody to move for the adoption of this declaration? Anybody? Yes. Minister from Congo.
Mesdames et Messieurs les ministres, Monsieur le Président du Conseil d'administration de l'OACI, Messieurs les représentants de la Commission de l'Union africaine, du NEPAD et de la BAD, Madame la Secrétaire générale de la CAFAC, Mesdames et Messieurs les chefs de délégation, compte tenu des contraintes de temps et de la nécessité d'avoir les documents finaux disponibles à la fois en langue française, en langue anglaise et en d'autres langues, je voudrais vous proposer de bien vouloir déléguer cette responsabilité au sénateur Hadi Sirika, ministre d'État, ministre de l'Aviation du Nigeria, qui, en notre nom à tous, va approuver les documents finaux de cette importante réunion. Tout naturellement, mon cher homologue du Nigeria, ayant été l'initiateur de cette réunion lors de la première session ordinaire du comité technique spécialisé de l'Union africaine sur le transport, les infrastructures transcontinentales et interrégionales, l'énergie et le tourisme, à Lomé, au Togo, le 27 mars 2017, il lui revient la responsabilité de transmettre à la Commission de l'Union africaine les résultats de cette importante réunion. Merci pour votre attention.
Well, thank you very much, Congo. Can we have anyone to second? Yes, Guinea, Mr. from Guinea.
Je suis Oye Gilavogui, ministre d'État en charge des transports de la République de Guinée. Je voudrais d'abord m'acquitter d'un devoir, celui de remercier les organisateurs de ce grand forum international sur le financement du développement des infrastructures et de l'industrie de l'aviation. Au nom donc de mes pairs des 54 États de l'Afrique, demander au ministre d'État de l'Aviation de la République fédérale de Nigeria de procéder à la validation, à la signature de cette déclaration finale. Je vous remercie.
Well, thank you, Guinea. Anybody? Ghana?
I wish to second the motion put put on the floor by the Minister for Congo. Yes, that's the Minister for Aviation of Nigeria signs the document on behalf of the other ministers to be deposited at the AU. Thank you.
Well, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, including my friends, gentlemen of the media, it has been a very tough 2 days. Very engaging, very fruitful. It's more than an honor and delight for the country of Nigeria and my ministry to host this all-important event, to host the entire world on our shows, to discuss a very important item, financing the development of aviation infrastructure, which has always been the missing link. And this is very significant for us. And I've equally been very encouraged to see such high level of interest from African states, international and regional organizations, the industry, the donor community, of course, as well as multilateral development banks and other financial institutions. This declaration, ladies and gentlemen, for plan of action will, of course, be the problem solver and provide the practical solutions and credible means to address the financing challenge of aviation infrastructure development in Africa. It will further aid in strengthening the perspective of the Lome Plan of Action. I welcome in particular the commitment made by African states and regional economic communities to ensuring the inclusion of more well-defined aviation projects in the Program for Infrastructure Development in Africa, FIDA, and the next cycle of its Priority Action Plan 2020-2030. As well as, of course, Foreign African Economic Cooperation and International Assistance Platform. Ladies and gentlemen, with your kind permission, honorable ministers, we propose that this declaration be known as the Abuja Declaration. And furthermore, honorable ministers, we have now, by this, come to the end and concluded the business of the high-level session. Thank you very much indeed for your hard and collaborative work and cooperation of African states, African Union Commission, NEPAD Planning and Coordination Agency, the African Development Bank, AFCAC, and of course our mother ICAO. With your permission, support, now that it's been moved, adopted, and seconded, I hereby declare the adoption of the declaration and framework for a plan of action for development of aviation infrastructure in Africa to be known as the Abuja Declaration. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, I saw a request from Egypt. Minister of Egypt. Huh? No, Ethiopia. Sorry, my glasses are, it's Ethiopia. I think it's Ethiopia, yes. Sorry.
I would like to thank His Excellency, the State Minister of Nigeria, Senator Hadi, for warm hospitality that has been accorded to all our delegations. On behalf of all the ministers and the members of the delegates who are here, I would like to thank Nigeria for excellently and ably, colorfully hosting this very, very interesting global forum with a very good outcome. Indeed, ICAO World Aviation Forum, Financing for Development of Aviation Infrastructure, has been very fruitful, and the deliberations, the discussions, and the outcomes will move forward in terms of advancing the development of world aviation development. I would also like to thank ICAO, the president of ICAO, and all the teams of ICAO for this important forum, which has been held in African soil, in the greatest country in Africa, in Abuja, Nigeria. So on behalf of all ministers and delegates, I would like to thank also ICAO. I would also like to thank African Union, African Development Bank, World Bank, and other international development financial institutions for joining this forum and agreeing on the outcomes of this forum, as well as in supporting financing for the development of aviation infrastructure. Indeed, human connectivity, world civilization will prosper if we also invest properly on financing for development of aviation infrastructure, in addition to all other modes of transport infrastructure. So on behalf of all the ministers, I would like to give vote of thanks for Nigeria and ICAO, African Development Bank, and also AU. Thank you very much all.
Honorable Ministers, I see a request for the floor from the permanent representative and ambassador of Colombia to ICAO.
Thank you very much. I want to thank Nigeria for this generosity, support to ICAO IWAFs, congratulate Nigeria for its achievements, but I want to give some thanks to all Africa for this gift of God called Olomuyiwa that we have as president of ICAO. No country left behind has been his initiative, and now it is in the mind of ICAO mentality, and the results talk by themselves. 0 accidents in Africa, increase on the implementation of ICAO SARPs around the world, that mean safety, security, and capacity for aviation, and these plans for the future that we signed today that we will bring new hope to all our states, especially optimism to the South states. So thanks, Mr. Olomuyiwa, Mr. Bernard Aliu, for your capacity of bringing consensus, your capacity of solving problems, and your way of planning and guiding ICAO. Thank you very much.
Well, Honorable Minister, we still have the part of the global meeting. This is a combined meeting, the global and the African portion of it. And we're going to have the concluding communique for the global meeting, which will be done by the Secretary General of ICAO. But I have the permanent representative and ambassador of Egypt to ICAO, General Ahmed. You have the floor, please.
Thank you, Excellency Mr. President Bernard Aliu, the President of the Council of ICAO. Great thanks to the Honorable Minister, His Excellency, the Minister, Senator Hadi Sirika, the Honorable Minister hosting this very important event in the world, the IWAF 3. Really, we do appreciate all the hospitality and the outstanding level of organization of this important event. And also, we would like to thank all the honorable ministers from the whole world for the positive contribution to and the positive outcomes of this important event. Excellencies attending this important event, I would like to fully support the declaration on behalf of my country, Egypt, and support all the efforts that His Excellency Dr. Bernard Aliou, the President of the Council of ICAO, is playing in order to support the civil aviation industry worldwide. Great thanks to the role he is playing in order to maintain and enhance the leadership of ICAO in driving the civil aviation industry in the whole world. Thank you, Excellency, and I do say that the Egyptian government is fully support the outcomes of this important event. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Honorable Minister, in closing this session now, I think the good thing is done. Let me just, on my personal behalf, on behalf of the ICAO people here, express appreciation to all the ministers, everybody that has participated, to all the agencies. As you see our good friend, Jeff Poole, representing Council here, but through you, I want to commend our appreciation to all the African agencies as well that have been part of this process, and to the industry organizations, Council, ACI, IATA, the financial institutions, everybody that has worked behind the scene to make this a huge success. And of course, our greatest thanks goes to His Excellency, President Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. And to you, Honorable Minister, for all your untiring effort to make this event a huge success that it's been. You made us proud. We are really appreciative of that. Thank you.
Mr. President, honorable ministers, industry leaders and experts, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure this must be very humbling for most the most humble person. When ICAO decided that it will honor Nigeria with hosting of this IWAF, I took a deep breath. So, wow. Of course, because of the enormity of the weight behind the responsibility to host the entire world in your country. And of course, because of the tons and tons of intellectual depth of participants and their commitment and the resolve and the sheer size of industry experts, financiers, and manufacturers, etc. I feel that this honor done Nigeria will not be a waste. This declaration will be pursued with all the vigor that it requires. It's an important item on the table of His Excellency, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and the government of Nigeria. We will do everything that we can to ensure that we continue to support aviation activities and the promotion of the development of aviation and transportation in general. We are very grateful and thankful for all the resources that has been shared. And thank you also for giving us the opportunity to leverage and take part and benefit from the entire process. We are not Oliver Twist, but we want to say to Mr. President, in thanking him for the leadership, to say that Nigeria is hungry for more of this kind of fora that we can host on your behalf. And finally, I hope that you enjoyed your stay in Nigeria and anything that you must have seen as an oversight is truly human from us. And we thank you very much indeed. Then, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, there will be the presentation of the final communique by the Secretary General of ICAO, Ms. Pang Liu, please.
Hello. Okay. Excellencies, ministers, panelists, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. It has been my great honor during these last 2 days to participate with you here at the 3rd edition of ICAO's World Aviation Forum. I think all of us will be leaving Abuja with a much deeper appreciation of the transformational power of aviation to improve the lives of people everywhere, and by any measure that serves to establish great success we've helped realize at this year's event. Since the inauguration of the first IWAF in 2015, ICAO has been working with great determination to establish a solid global consensus on the urgent need for governments to maximize the benefits of aviation. We initiated these World Aviation Forums immediately after the adoption of the 17th Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, that same year, and since that time, we have been proud to continuously raise awareness of aviation's fundamental importance to the SDGs attainment. From an overall standpoint, this work has been in line with our shared acknowledgement of aviation's significant contributions to supporting businesses, creating jobs, and generating numerous and sustainable socio-economic benefits through increased trade and tourism. But we have also taken note that worldwide awareness of aviation's benefits, its cross-cutting attributes, and its multiple links to other economic sectors hasn't been translating into the levels of investment necessary to sustain and optimize our sector's profound socio-economic potential. Over the last 2 years, we have addressed the challenges of financing and of creating an enabling environment that will support aviation infrastructure development at all levels. This was very much in line with our efforts to augment global partnerships in support of the No Country Left Behind initiative, and ICAO greatly appreciates the time and thoughtful viewpoints you have shared with us. As some of you have underlined, a credible means of planning and implementation are urgently required to manage future air transport traffic growth safely, securely, and efficiently. I cannot stress strongly enough how important this planning is to the benefits you expect to be generated and captured by your states. As we have heard throughout this event, continued development in aviation infrastructure capacity and technological innovation is critical to our desired outcomes. This in turn requires substantial modernization investments over the long term and an expansion of aviation capacity in all states consistent with ICAO's growth forecasts and global plans. I would therefore call on all governments which have not already done so to analyze their current capacities and expectations and to urgently establish national and or regional aviation infrastructure programs and plans respective of these aims. This should optimally be produced in cooperation with all relevant international and regional organizations, our industry colleagues, the donor community, as well as with multilateral development banks and other financial institutions. And they should also feature strategic infrastructure targets that are consistent with the ICAO global plans, as well as, of course, with your identified national and regional and municipal needs. ICAO, for its part, has listened intently to your related concerns at this 2017 IWAF, and we will be responding to them promptly. In the first place, we will redouble our efforts to enhance and develop tools, analysis, and services to support governments in identifying their aviation deficiencies and infrastructure gaps. This support will include helping you to prepare business cases for major aviation projects with clearly defined returns, and by visualizing disaggregated aviation data with mapping solutions. I would also like to highlight that ICAO is the recognized custodial agency for global indicators supporting SDG Target 9.1, which track the establishment of a resilient and sustainable infrastructure. These indicators help states to take a data-driven approach to their infrastructure planning challenges and to effectively monitor and evaluate their implementation progress. We have also heard some further views here on how increased aviation connectivity often leads to additional reinvestment in aviation. This creates a healthy circle of aviation development and economic prosperity, but only in those countries and regions which set out suitable planning and investment commitments. A second call I would therefore like to make is for states to align and integrate their aviation infrastructure programs based on the balanced development approach, one which includes multimodal transportation and related urban planning initiatives. This, in turn, must be linked with national and or regional development plans and strategies. Finally, all related efforts need to be harmonized with the relevant international economic and financial frameworks and supported by economic cooperation and international assistance for development which is appropriate to your local needs. ICAO, meanwhile, will continue to foster effective partnerships between donors, investors, and states, and to strengthen our common understanding on infrastructure requirements and expectations while responding to business imperatives. We will also continue to work with other UN and international development agencies to better ensure that international public finance and assistance for development, including official development assistance ODA and South-South cooperation, are better sensitized to air transport's crucial contributions to sustainable development. The honorable ministers and distinguished speakers with us here at IWAF 3 have also reaffirmed that strong, long-term partnerships between all relevant parties are essential to mainstream the priorities of the aviation sector. This principle applies to every ICAO member state and across all ICAO regions, but I would also suggest that it is essentially relevant here in Africa. For all of the reasons I have just summarized, the new declaration and the plan of actions for aviation infrastructure development in Africa, which have been adopted here, should help to bring a renewed sense of urgency and effectiveness to our international cooperation. I welcome in particular the commitment made by African states and the regional economic communities to ensure the inclusion of better defined aviation projects in the Program for Infrastructure Development for Africa, PIDA. Additionally, of note, was their renewed focus toward African economic cooperation and international assistance platforms. To strongly support the implementation of the plan of action, ICAO will enhance its cooperation with African states in line with the African Union's Agenda 2063 and consistent with the priorities of our No Country Left Behind initiative and the support of United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. I have also been pleased to see the strong consensus reflected in the IWAF concluding communique on the need for more sustainable international civil aviation. Ladies and gentlemen, this 2017 World Aviation Forum has once again provided us with an invaluable opportunity to shape the future of global air transport together and to ensure that it remains a safe, secure, efficient, and reliable driver of sustainable peace and prosperity wherever aircraft flies. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the government and the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, in particular for His Excellency Minister Senator Hadi Sirika for hosting this very first IWAF held in the ICAO region, and to express ICAO's deep appreciation to the African Union Commission, the African Development Bank, and the Planning and Coordinating Agency of the AU's new Partnership for Africa's Development for being such generous and effective partners on this year's event. On that note, may I extend a very big thank you again to all for your participation, enthusiasm, and most of all, for your participation and partnership on ICAO's many global priorities. I look forward to your participation at the next IWAF in 2018 and wish you all safe travel home. Thank you.
Well, honorable ministers, industry partners, ambassadors, gentlemen of the media, ladies and gentlemen. On this note, it's an honor, also another privilege, to declare this forum closed. Thank you very much indeed.
Well, the business of high-level session has been concluded here at the Third International Civil Aviation Organization World Aviation Forum in Abuja here, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Successfully done by the stakeholders in Africa's aviation industry. This forum actually explored the benefits of the aviation sector to the social, economic development and prosperity of member states, and to discuss, identify needs, and of course facilitate the funding and financing required to accelerate the implementation of international civil aviation global standards and policies, as well as global plans for aviation in support of the ICAO No Country Left Behind initiative. That's exactly why they gathered here in Abuja, and they have succeeded in coming out with what they all unanimously describes agreed to be the Abuja Declaration. Of course, you saw the Honorable Minister for State Aviation, Senator Hadi Abubakar Sirika, handling that particular exercise. So gradually, the forum comes to an end here in Abuja, and to the glory of God, great attempts have been made here by the stakeholders to chart a way forward for Africa's aviation industry. Of course, you watched this session live on the largest TV network in Africa, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, we actually like to thank you indeed for watching. It's been nice hosting the entire world for 2 days here in the Federal Capital Territory as the chart a course for Africa's aviation industry. And of course, it was a forum that actually gave stakeholders the opportunity to revisit most of the things that were discussed in Montreal in 2015 and 2016. Thank you indeed for being part of it. My name is Kenem Emma Abodike, signing off on behalf of the entire operational crew here at the Transcorp Hilton, Abuja. Bye-bye.